Special welcome to all of you for our GOD evening, our Generation of Faith, in which we gather as family in all generations, all the parish together, the many different facets of who we are as Resurrection Parish. It is February. It is cold outside, and we're looking for that spring. We're also anticipating Lent coming up very soon, so we want to be on track to open ourselves up to that deeper mystery of God that comes through our Lenten celebrations. But before we get there, we just want to take a moment to continue on our Catholic social teachings, as especially during February we speak on the rights and responsibilities of who we are in our world, how we live our lives, and how we reach out to those especially in need. So we're going to hear more about that a little later. I just want to take a moment in prayer, and especially in prayer asking through the prayer of Oscar Romero, that it is an opportunity to recognize how important it is to be in relationship with each other, that each one of us in our own hearts and souls can reach out in such a way that brings life and hope to others in our world, especially in this cold February. So let's listen to this prayer, again attributed to Oscar Romero, in a way that brings us into the wonders and the joys of how we can be, within our Catholic social teachings, people of faith and people of action. It helps now and then to step back and take a long view. The kingdom is not only beyond our efforts, it is even beyond our vision. We accomplish in our lifetime only a tiny fraction of the magnificent enterprise that is God's work. Nothing we do is complete, which is a way of saying that the kingdom of God always lies beyond us. No statement says all that could be said. No prayer fully expresses our faith. No confession brings perfection. No pastoral visit brings wholeness. No program accomplishes the church's mission. No set of goals and objectives includes everything. This is what we are about. We plant the seeds that one day will grow. We water seeds already planted, knowing that they hold future promise. We lay foundations that will need further development. We provide yeast that produces effects far beyond our capabilities. We cannot do everything, and there is a sense of liberation in realizing that. This enables us to do something, and to do it very well. It may be incomplete, but it is a beginning, a step along the way, an opportunity for the Lord's grace to enter and do the rest. We may never see the end results, but that is the difference between the master builder and the worker. We are the workers, not master builders, ministers, not messiahs. We are prophets of a future that is not our own.
Thanks so much, Father Tom, for leading us with that beautiful prayer written by Bishop Ken Untner from the Diocese of Saginaw, Michigan, in honor of Archbishop Oscar Romero. As Father Tom said, we continue in February with our look at the various principles of Catholic social teaching, the 7 principles of CST. And this principle in February is rights and responsibilities. And we all know that it takes certain things to be human. It takes certain basic things in our life, such as shelter and clothing and food and water and clean air and health care and education. Just some of the basics that every person really has a right to. But because every person has a right to those basics of life, the rest of us have a responsibility to make sure that everybody has those things in their life. Catholic Relief Services has produced a series of videos, one for each of the principles of Catholic social teaching. And this month we're going to look at the CST 101 video on rights and responsibilities. Enjoy.
Our human rights come out of human dignity. We're made in the image and likeness of God. That's where the dignity of the human person comes from. We all have a right to have a decent livelihood, but at the same time we have a responsibility to contribute to society, to the common good.
The basic human rights in Catholic social teaching are most succinctly expressed in the papal encyclical Pacem in Terris. And there, the foundation is the basic right to life that cannot be taken away.
We require life in order to have all of our other rights and in order to fulfill all our other responsibilities. We are required to have more than existence. Jesus promises us the abundant life.
Building on that basic right are all the super basic things that each of us need, like food and water and shelter and clothing.
Healthcare is another area where people have rights to medical procedures and medicine and the care of a doctor.
On top of the foundation of those sort of basic rights for survival, there are more sophisticated rights, like the right to participate in society.
A right to have a search for God in freedom of religion, to search for truth and to live in integrity with that, respected.
For us, rights and responsibilities are reciprocal. We always have a responsibility to others, to the common good, and to see our work and resources as something that need to be used to build up society and to be shared with those who are in need.
That need is a call. It calls something out from us. What do we encounter in the communities where we are? Our kids' school, our neighborhood, our parish. And then in a larger sense, what are the needs in our region?
Human beings are wonderful creatures that have rights, but also that have agency and responsibility to help to shape their own destiny and the destinies of others in ways that reflect this basic dignity that God has given us. So advocacy is a really important way for us as Catholics to participate in the ordering of society. It's a way for us to ask the government to structure laws, procedures, policies in such a way that people are better able to attain their human rights and exercise their responsibilities.
We are born with others given to us to look after us, but then with our responsibility to look after others. It's huge. We are really supposed to think when we meet others, and they're supposed to think when they meet us. Here is another person in God's image. Here is a person just like me.
As we talk about rights and responsibilities, there was a young woman who felt it was important to look at what was happening in her own community. And she decided that she needed to do something about it. And she was very young and wanted to get rid of the trash in her yard or the smell of garbage around her neighborhood, or to help people who might not be as fortunate as she might have been. But her name was Malala, and Malala wrote a book on the magic pencil. And in this book, she helps describe her dream and her vision. Hopefully we all have a dream and vision, and we too, with our voice and our actions, can make the world a better place.
Malala's Magic Pencil by Malala Yousafzai and Kara Scoett. Do you believe in magic? When I was younger, I used to watch a TV show about a boy who had a magic pencil. If he was hungry, he drew a bowl of curry, and it appeared. If he and his friends were in danger, he drew a police officer. The boy was a little hero, always protecting people who needed help. How I wanted a magic pencil too. If I had a magic pencil, I would use it to put a lock on my door so my brothers couldn't bother me, stop time so I could sleep an extra hour every morning, erase the smell of the trash dump near our house. And I would use it to make other people happy. I would draw the most beautiful dresses in the world for my mother, the best buildings in the valley for my father, so he could open many schools where children could study for free. A proper ball so my brothers and I no longer had to play with an old sock stuffed with rubbish. Every night before I went to bed, I wished for a magic pencil of my own, and every morning I would wake up and check my cupboard, but the magic pencil was never there. One day, I was throwing away potato peels and eggshells at the dump. I was wrinkling my nose, swatting away flies, and making sure I didn't step on anything dirty in my nice shoes when I saw a girl about my age sorting trash into piles. Nearby, boys were fishing for metal scraps using magnets on strings. When my father returned home from work, I told him what I seen. It made him sad. "Abba," I said. "Yes, Jenny?" he said back. I always liked when he called me dear one. "Why haven't I seen that girl in my class?" "Because," he said, but he didn't finish right away. "Because, Jenny, in our country not everyone sends their daughters to school, and some children must work to support their family. Those boys will sell the metal scraps they find. If they went to school, their families would go hungry." School was my favorite place, but I had never considered myself lucky to be able to go. My father had always said, "Malala will live free as a bird." Now I wondered how free I'd truly be. That night I thought about families who didn't have enough food, and the girl who couldn't go to school, and even about how when I was older, I would be expected to cook and clean for my brothers, because where I came from, many girls weren't allowed to become what they dreamed of. I knew then that if I had the magic pencil, I would use it to draw a better world, a peaceful world. First, I would erase war, poverty, and hunger. Then I would draw girls and boys together as equals. Over the next few years, instead of wishing for a magic pencil every night, I worked hard in school every day. I wanted to be one of the top students in my class. But soon, powerful and dangerous men declared that girls were forbidden from attending school. They walked the streets of our city now. They carried weapons. One by one, girls stopped coming to school. "Abba, where are all the students? They don't feel safe here anymore, Yanni." How could a few men stop all the girls in our valley from going to school? If more people knew what was happening to us, I thought, they might help. Wishing wasn't enough. Someone needed to speak out. Why not me? I wrote about what it felt like to be scared to walk to school, and how some of my friends had moved away because of the threat they faced in our city. I wrote about how much I loved school and how proud I was of my uniform. Once I started writing, I didn't stop. I wrote speeches and traveled around my country, sharing my story. I even talked to a reporter from a famous international newspaper. People actually wanted to learn about my life. I spoke for all the girls in my valley who couldn't speak for themselves. My voice became so powerful that the dangerous men tried to silence me, but they failed. And now my voice is louder than ever, louder because people have joined me, and together we make a chorus, standing up for what we believe. We raise our voices for those in need. We help people in danger, even if they are an ocean away, and we think of the world as family. Do you still believe in magic? I do. I wrote alone in my room, but people all over the world were reading my story. Millions now know it and help me spread my message of hope. I had at last found the magic I was looking for, in my words and in my work. I am Malala. I've always wished I could make the world a more peaceful place. And every day I work to make my wish come true. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. The end.
Each year, the Diocese of Green Bay invites us to examine how we can make a safer environment for children, youth, seniors, and vulnerable adults. This year, because of COVID-19, instead of gathering in person to examine how we look at a safe environment for all of us, we're going to invite you to do some homework at home, utilizing the resources provided by the diocese. There's a website on your screen, and we'll ask you to find the level of your child or children in your household on that website. Once you go to those levels, there's various activities and discussions and various parts of the program that you can take part in as a family. So we ask that you choose those activities that you feel will best benefit your family and help you to discover and to learn more about how we provide this safe environment for everybody in our diocese, in our community, everybody that we come into contact with. If you have any questions about how to further engage in the conversations and the activities on this website, please see Carolyn in the parish office.
Today we've been talking about the Catholic social teaching of rights and responsibilities. And for our service project this month, we have a couple things that you can engage in. The first is Super Bowl Sunday, the weekend of February 13th. We are doing a collection of canned soup here at the parish, as well as granola bars. The canned soup will go to Paul's Pantry, and the granola bars will be sent to our local schools to help those students in need. So please give generously to those. We will have barrels at all the entrances to the church and one near the main office, and boxes for the granola bars. So feel free to drop them in those locations here at the parish. In addition to that, for Valentine weekend, we have a responsibility to our seniors as well to show our love and our care for them. So we are asking you as families, as parishioners, to make Valentine cards for our seniors and to bring them to the parish office, and we will get them distributed to our seniors. So have fun, enjoy time together as family, and make some Valentine cards and make a difference in somebody else's life.
What an amazing time together to celebrate who we are and the responsibilities we have to each other on many different levels of our world, in our societies, our church, and in our families. So hopefully you've taken some time to discuss the questions and taken back some ideas from what we've given you today, as well as being able to apply that to your life and your family, and reaching out to those in need, especially to our elder through those Valentines. Those are going to be great when they receive and they see us coming with Valentines, and they're all smiles and excited about it. So thank you for doing that for us and for the parish. Just want to take a moment in prayer and ask God to bless us, both in English and in Spanish, because again, our responsibilities are to those around the world. No matter who we are, what language we speak, the color of our skin, doesn't matter who we are with and who we care for. It's all in love. It is all in caring for each other in a many beautiful and gifted way. So we ask our God to bless us and strengthen us, that in our lives we may know God's gift of grace, that through the Holy Spirit we may open our hearts and souls to those around us in a way that allows them to be responsible for their life and be able to have what the resources they need in order to live a healthy, good, balanced life. Vamos a hablar especialmente para nosotros en este mundo, que podemos seguir siempre en el nombre de Cristo, porque tenemos la responsabilidad a vivir bien con la gracia de Dios, no solamente para nosotros mismos, pero para nuestra familia y la comunidad alrededor de nuestra casa. Es importante que nosotros seguimos bien con Dios y para seguir bien con nuestros vecinos. A beautiful opportunity again to pray, to gather in faith, and no matter who we are, who our neighbors are, and gather in the rights and responsibilities to live always in the love and presence of God. Again, thank you for joining us and gifting us with this time to grow in our faith, and especially in forming who we are as people of God at Resurrection and in the world around us. Thank you.